I trust we all had an amazing. Okay, so I trust we've all had an amazing time so far. Day one, day two, and this is day three. So before we kick off, I'd like to briefly introduce our instructor for the night, and that is Mrs. Faith Teaser. Mrs. Faith Teaser is a seasoned business administrator, and she is also the CEO of Ivory Learn Africa. Yes, she has dedicated her career to professional excellence and empowerment. She's a published author and the visionary founder of both the Plurist Woman and Iris Empowers, both organizations at the forefront of uplifting women across Nigeria. So, ladies and gentlemen on the call tonight, please join me in a warm welcome of Mrs. Faith Teaser. Woo! Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I believe that you can all hear me. Please, if you can hear me, just drop a thumbs up. If you can hear me, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Mrs. Glory, for that wonderful introduction. So today is day 3, and we've been going strong from the very first day that we started this training. And today we're going to be talking about content planning, calendars, and systems. But I want us to do something. I want you to drop your favorite social media platform in the comment section. I want to see what your favorite social media platform is. Let me see what people have to say before I move along. To go, Father Lord, to go. Instagram, TikTok, okay. TikTok, X, all right. Instagram, Twitter, okay. WhatsApp, I mean, many times we neglect WhatsApp as a social media platform. So yeah, WhatsApp is a social media platform. So yes, thank you everybody for indulging me. I asked that question for something, but I think we're going to get to it later on in this class. So like I said, we're going to be speaking about content planning, calendars, and systems. I don't know about you, but I'm that kind of person who, from when I was in secondary school, I used to write a to-do list. I write a little to-do list in the night during preps in school, and then I know what I'm going to do the next day. And then by prep, that's the next day, I'm going to tick everything that I did and what I was not able to do and move it to the next day. How many of you are like me? In fact, I still do it today because it helps me balance my life. Sometimes when you're so engaged in other things, a simple to-do list will be a great savior for you. So does anybody do that? Or at least if you ever did that at one point in your life, maybe in secondary school, in the university, or maybe even now. Yes, thank you very much. And you know, that's the closest thing that I can liken a content calendar to, because it's content planning. So what you're essentially doing is you are planning for what is going to happen on your social media space. But I'm going to share my screen right about now so that we move and we move together, and then we can see everything that I want to share with us today. So I'm going to be sharing my screen right now. Let me know if you can see my screen, please. Can you see my screen? All right, thank you. So give me a second. Let me do something just so that we're on the same page. I'll do something quickly. All right. Thank you. All right. So I just wanted to be sure that we're all on the same page. So please, if you have questions, I'd like you to just write them down somewhere, and then we'll answer them at the end of this class. So we're going to move with the speed of light, and I want this class to be very interactive. Remember, it's social media manager, so I believe that we can be as interactive as possible. So it's content planning, calendars, and systems, and it is the strategic framework for consistent brand visibility and growth. I don't know about you, but all of those years when I did my to-do list, I noticed that I was highly productive. It helped me to really sit down and think about what was most important, write it down, and stick to achieving it. So overall, it made me more productive than if you just leave your life to chance, you just wake up and do anything. And it's the same thing and the same energy that comes when you plan your content. I mean, even with the brands and the organizations that I work with today, we still do this. It is a very important and integral part of our social media um, presence. So it's a very important part. But I want to speak about something, the 70-20-10 rule for balance. And this is a very healthy perspective when it comes to planning your calendar, right? Because it will have a lot of other things or nitty-gritties of all of these things. But yes, let's go to the 70-20-10 rule for balance. So the first 70% is value and education. And I'm speaking about what you're going to post. So when you think about what you want to post on YouTube and Google search, the highest rankings of things that have been searched by millions and billions of people are how to's. So people want to learn how to, in fact, how to make money, how to get a husband, how to get a wife, how to build a company. How to's are the most sought after things when you go to the Google Analytics and YouTube search engine or whatever. So 70% has to be that you are giving some form of value or you are educating your audience. So it has to be content that solves problems for free. And that gives you an opportunity to build authority, because when people think about a particular problem, they think about you having the solution, because over time you've given them a solution to their problems for free. So it's important that when you think of planning your calendar for social media, for your posting, for your organization, it has to have a lot of value. Education. In as much as we enjoy watching skits, we like to see those videos that teach us things. And many times you actually just stop to see, what does this person have to say? Because even your mind craves value consistently, right? So when you plan your calendar, you have to focus on value and education. What am I going to give to people? What are they going to remember me for? What am I going to teach them that they will not usually get anywhere else? And then when you're also planning your calendar, you always have to think of connection, something personal, something that is relatable. So I remember one time I made a post about getting my first car at 19. Now, a lot of people may just have joined because, may just have watched or engaged that post because they wanted to hear the gist. But I used something else as the hook to sell what I wanted to say. So it was something personal. It was, you have a car. Oh, you did it when you were pretty young. So what do you have to say? So um content like this revolves around even behind the scenes stories, how I built my company, what motivated me to start this company, to start this brand, connection, personal details. I struggled as an entrepreneur. That's your connection or personal content. Anything that somebody can listen to you and feel like you are speaking about them, that's content that is personal and builds connection. And the thing about content like this is that it builds trust. People can tell that this person understands how I feel. One of the reasons why people pay therapists, one of the reasons, remember, is because they want somebody to listen to them and understand how they feel. And the thing is that we are so many online, but somehow you can get missing in the crowd. But when you find somebody that you can relate to, somehow it builds a form of connection. So you always want to go to that person's page because they're going to say something that you're probably dealing with in that moment. So when you think of building your calendar, you must always think of something that is personal to your audience. And then, I mean, what's the purpose of being in a business if you're not making profit or selling? So 10% has to go to sales. So where you give your direct offers and your call to action, because this is the only thing, not the only thing, the big part of making sales, building revenue, of actually making profit, right? So when you think of building your calendar or planning your calendar for your social media, whether you're managing brands for organizations or whatever, you have to always think value. And value may not always have to be educating. Value can be the reason why that company exists. What value are you offering? So those are things that you push in front. So value 70%, 20% for connection and personal stories, and then we have 10% for sales. If you understand everything that I said, please drop a thumbs up so that I know that we're on the same page. If I see from about, let me see, 5 people, I know that we're good to go. So we're going to go. Thank you very much. All right. So we're going into the workflow system, right? How do we practically put this into practice? When you think about a calendar, you have to break it down from the bigger goals to the smaller goals. So you have to have, in fact, some brands, what we do is we do quarterly, but I just picked monthly, weekly, and daily. But we can have a quarterly plan, but then you can have a monthly plan, a weekly plan, and then a daily plan. So when you think of your monthly plan, it usually would have your big goals, the things that you want to do that are the big things. Okay, in the first month, I want to launch my product. In the first month, I want to grow my followers by 200, by 500. In the first month, I want to be featured in a newspaper article. In the first month, I want to have a viral post that I did not promote. Those are big plans. Those are plans for the month. So now what you do is you break it down into weeks. So this is the goal for this month. What are we now going to do week by week to make sure we achieve this thing? What you now do is that you will define your specific topics and your formats. So I want to achieve this thing. What's the best route to go? Do I do videos? Do I post designs or flyers? Do I make audio videos? Should I start doing a podcast? How am I going to get to my goal? How am I going to achieve this dream that I have? That at the end of this month, this is what I want to achieve. So week by week, what am I going to do to build up to lead to that month breakthrough? And then obviously, once you've done it weekly, you're going to now start to plan daily. And the daily plan is simply your execution and engagement. How do you plan to execute that big plan? All right. So I said that at the beginning of the month for my brand, let's say it's a skincare brand, and I decide that in this month, maybe I've been operating for a year. In this month, I want to have a collaboration with XYZ brand. So what I do is every week, these are the things that I'm going to do. I'm going to post this video. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Then every day, what am I going to do? Am I going to decide that I'm going to post every day? Even when I post every day, how long am I going to stay on social media? Am I going to engage the comments? What do I do? Am I going to go on XYZ's brand to speak about how I really want to work with them? What am I going to do? So you have to break your goals into things that are achievable. You know, when we're in school, they taught us about the SMART rule, where your goals have to be smart. And one of the things that I really liked in that SMART goal was realistic. And that's what your daily plans will look like. They have to be realistic. They have to be things that you can actually do and execute immediately. So you can have a big plan, but what do you do? Because you see, I think one of the biggest problems we have, Africans, is that we just imagine vague things. So a typical Nigerian will tell you, I just want to blow. How do you plan to blow? We have no blueprint. We have no idea. We have no plan. You just want to blow. You just want to have a job that pays you $5,000. Okay, what competence is needed for you to get a job that will pay you $5,000? That is you breaking it down. I will need to have a certification in this. I will need to learn how to do this. I would need experience in this. That's you now breaking it down to see how you can actually achieve it. Because, like the saying is, that tiny drops of water will make the mighty ocean. A mighty ocean will be dependent on tiny drops of water. So your monthly goal will only be achieved if your daily plans are met and your weekly goals are also achieved. I hope you understand what I just said. All right, let's move on. So when it comes to content planning, one of the key things is you have to be strategic. You have to be really strategic, because a campaign is a concentrated effort to achieve one specific goal over a set period. That's what a campaign is, right? So you are putting effort in one direction so that you can achieve a specific thing over time. So we have about 4 phases in this strategic campaign planning. When you want to plan a campaign for a page you are managing, or for your own personal business, what should be your focus? What should be your perspective? What phases must you pass before you know that, okay, my campaign has been very effective and strategic? The first thing is awareness. The first thing is awareness. So this is not the time to sell. This awareness part is where you figure out the problem. So you have no business with selling at this point. What you're going to highlight is pain points. What pain point is your audience facing right now? So, you can use questions like, are you struggling with whatever, whatever, whatever? Are you struggling with making sales in your business? Let's assume that that's the service that you offer. Are you struggling with acne? Are you struggling with whatever it is? You have to identify what the problem is for your audience, because if you do not meet their demand with a tangible supply, they're going to go elsewhere and find somebody that is doing what you are doing, maybe not as good as you plan, but if they are aware of the problem in the market, they will solve it faster than you with great plans. Because you cannot give supply where there's no demand. You cannot just exist as a brand, or you are managing a page. You have no idea what the people want, what they are looking for. You are just posting. So awareness is the first stage, where you pinpoint the problem that your audience are currently facing. And then the second part is consideration, where you now prefer the solution. So this is where you introduce your product or service as the hero. Okay, so I now know this is what the audience wants. Okay, now this is what we can offer you. We are the best at doing this. So you use demos, how-tos, guides, and let me give you a practical example. And it's not necessarily about managing a social media page, but I did Forever Living products, right? When I was much younger, probably 19, 18, 18, 19. I did Forever Living products. I did it very, very, very well. I got introduced from my mom, and so we're doing it. It got to a point where we started to have seminars for people. So what my mom started to do was, she noticed that a lot of people around her age, or even a little younger than her, were having issues with their health. And everybody was looking for, that was when the natural organic thing was a little bit more popular at the time. And so we started to have seminars, and we'll bring the hero of Forever Living products, which was their aloe vera gel, and we'll do experiments with it. When people saw those experiments and how it was, melting some substances and doing kinikon, different things, they were blown away. What people were paying to join the Forever Living products, not because they truly even understood the business part of it, or they just believed that this product is all that I need to solve my problems. Because Forever Living Products presented the aloe vera gel to be their hero product. It can solve everything. Have you ever entered those Lagos buses that one medicine used to solve every problem in life? If you have ever heard of that medicine, please let me know in the comment section. There's always that one drug, one medicine that is supposed to solve all your problems. If you have sleepless nights, you have private part problems, you have kidney problem, you have this. If you take that drug, it can solve everything. That is what you must position your social media page to be. May God bless you. Staphylococcus hepatitis. Eshe, thank you. Album, thank you. You see, you have come across hero products. Bonus. Thank you. But guess what? Those people, they've done a great job. They've convinced a lot of people. You may not have bought it, but a lot of people have patronized them because they presented their product to be the hero product. That's what you must do with your social media page. You must present the brand as the number one problem solver of the people's problem. And that is the only time people would actually consider you. That if they now think that, okay, I have this problem, because they've seen your page often enough, you've built awareness over time, they now consider you. They're like, let me check this brand. We all do it. There are times when we're looking for different things. We go to a specific brand, not because we've ever purchased from them, but they've presented themselves to be the ones who can do it. You've seen their page pop up a number of times. And it is when awareness and consideration are complete that conversion can never happen. So conversion is the final blow. That's like the scarcity model. So we have awareness, which is the problem. You identify the problem. Consideration, you give the solution. And then conversion is the scarcity. So you now start to say, we have limited slots. We have limited slots. We only produce 50 of these things because it's so good. It took us a lot of time. People are going to start rushing it. So conversion, social proof. You are giving them, you're showing them testimonials. You're showing them reviews. And what you are trying to do at the end of the day is you are trying to get a response. You're trying to trigger an action. You want them to finally make a purchase. You finally want them to get the service that you offer or the product that you're selling. But you must always think awareness, consideration, and then conversion. And the truth is that one of the social media platforms that we do not pay attention to a lot, that some people are really cashing out. I know somebody who has made millions from her social media. Her WhatsApp status is WhatsApp. Leverage WhatsApp. It is, people feel like WhatsApp is very intimate and high converting. So it is like the hidden channel in the context that we're considering right now. So your WhatsApp status, WhatsApp business, that's a good plan. Anyway, let me not flog it. Let's move on. Let's move on. But I hope that you're understanding so far. So now when we speak about, content calendars and posting and all of that, it means that you need to master posting frequency and algorithm. So you have to know, first of all, that quality is more important than quantity. That there's something called the retention rule, and there's something called the golden hour. So when I say that quality is greater than quantity, it means that, a high value post that gets saves, that gets shares, that gets likes, that gets comments is worth more than 7 low effort posts. Is worth more than 10 low effort posts. If you do one post properly, it is better than doing many that you just did because you had to do it. So we see that in mastering posting frequency and algorithm, quality always stands out. Intentionality is very important. Intentionality is more important than frequency. So if I take my time to curate a post and it does well, it is better for me to have that post than to just be posting sporadically and just spam my page with 1,000 posts. But every time you open any post, you see 2 likes. Have you stumbled on pages like that? You even see that maybe they bought followers. So they have like 10,000 followers. You click on one post, you see 2 likes. When I see pages like that, I run. I remove my shoe and I start running. Because it means that there's something that you are doing wrong. And many times it doesn't even mean that you're a fake brand. It means that you're not intentional enough. And I will not commit my resources to you because I do not trust what you're going to give to me. And then there's also something called the retention rule. The algorithms will prioritize content that keeps people on the app. That one is sure. So it's important that in the first 3 seconds of a video, or if you're posting a picture, your first lines of the caption must captivate the people. It must be compelling. It must make people want to stop and read further. It must make people stop and want to hear what you have to say at the end of the day. When you think of the big brands, you know that they do these things. And many times we want to be biased to say that no, it's because they are big brands. That's why. No, they're getting something right. They have mastered the retention rule. They have mastered how to get people to wait till the very end. Have you ever watched a video and they said something like, 5 ways to do this, XYZ. And the fifth point is going to blow your mind. You know what you do? You will sit down like they were paying you and wait for that fifth point. You know why? They mastered the retention rule. They knew what to do to make you wait till the very end. So when they're even talking, the first thing, second thing, third, fourth, in your mind, you're like, I want to hear this fifth thing. Sometimes when they even say the fifth thing, you're like, what did I even wait to hear? But they know that curiosity lies in the heart of every man. And when I say man, I mean man and woman. So they have taken it to their advantage and they know how to do it. So what happens is that when you have mastered the retention rule and people are staying to engage your content, they're staying to watch it, and the algorithm finds out, what is going to happen is that with little effort, the algorithm will push your content because they think or you've deceived them, or at least you are making people stay on the app to watch you or to engage with your page. There's the golden hour. I perceive I am. All right, thank you. Sorry, my connection just tripped off a bit. I'm so sorry for the break in transmission. So yeah, like I was saying, there's something called the golden hour. And the peak times for, I mean, the most number of people to be online is between 7 to 9 p.m. And that's because I mean the audience peak. On my phone, personally, I don't even manage any page, but for my own personal brand, I have a permanent alarm clock for 6:30 p.m. And by 6:30 p.m., my phone reminds me post on social media. It is every day. I don't even post every day, but it's a constant reminder. So naturally, when I even see that the time is getting towards 6:30, I know my brain is telling me this is the time to post. So what you can even do is you can set an alarm for, let's say, 6 p.m. You get all your captions, you get everything ready, and you even start to post. So for example, over time, I know social media platforms that kind of take time to finish posting. Instagram, for me, has been one of the fastest, especially when it comes to videos now. So I'm going to leave out Twitter. Instagram seems to be the fastest, um, followed by Facebook. TikTok takes time a bit. And the thing with TikTok is that when you're posting on TikTok, you have to be there for it to continue moving. Once you leave, it's going to pause there. So you see, when you have an idea of these particular things, it's easy for you to know what to do. So this is a very important part for a social media manager. But then we're going to go to repurposing content. And I know many people don't like to speak about repurposing, but I learned this, I think, about 3-4 years ago, about how important and powerful it is to repurpose content. And let me just say one of the reasons why repurposing content is very important. Because, I mean, over time, it's expected that you're getting new followers. Even the followers that you have, trust me, they see a lot online and they'll forget you. And not like you are not special, but they can forget you with time. So because they've forgotten, you can post again. But let's see the different dimensions to repurposing content, the content tree method. That's what I want to speak about, right? So I don't want us to just work harder or um but to work smarter. So you can turn one idea, which is like the roots, into multiple branches. So let's take, for example, the root is a 1 5 minute video. Or let's say, yeah, let's use a video. You have a 5 minute video. Now, the branches are going to be you have your reels, you have carousel, you have quote graphic, you have stories. So what you can do is from that 5 minute video, you can get 3 videos, 3 short clips from that one main video. And you can use those for reels on your TikTok or any other platform. You now have carousel posts. Then you now have your quote graphic. And this one is I like when I see people really use this quote graphic properly. So for example, I do a video and then I can convert it into a Twitter quote graphic. And it's simple, you just go to Canva and do that. In fact, anyway, I'm going to get to using AI, leveraging AI to make your work easier. But then we now have the story. So or your story, your status, you can post either the link. So let's say you posted on IG, you can go to your WhatsApp story and post the link, or you can even take that same thing and post it on your WhatsApp story. So you see that one single video has turned into many other things that you can leverage on and you can use. And the truth is, a lot of people would miss the first post. So repurposing just, I mean, ensures that your message reaches everyone. And even if it has reached them before, there's something powerful about repetition. It strengthens conviction. So it will feel like, oh, I've seen this before, but am I really sure? Maybe it's something else I've seen. So the fact that you are repeating yourself again is strengthening the conviction of the message you want to pass to the minds of your audience. But then the next part, like I said, is leveraging AI as our content assistant. You know, I had a job interview a while ago, I think some years ago. And the person that was interviewing me asked a question. She asked me, do you use AI? And I use AI. And I said, yes, I do. And she said, okay, how do you use AI? And I told her, I said, I just leverage on it. And I explained my process. And she was like, I like you. And I was thinking, she said, many people will say, no, I don't use AI, I use my brain. And she was like, these smart people will leverage AI. And that's what we should be doing. Why should you be suffering when life has been made easier for you? I don't know about you, but I was doing my project, um, writing and defense in 2015. Sometimes I'm just like, God, if I had ChatGPT that year. So the people in university now, I don't know. I feel like life has just become easier for them. So now you don't even just have ChatGPT, for example. You now have something that it covers the fact that you use ChatGPT or something like that. Meanwhile, those days we're going to library looking for anyway. I mean, leverage AI. Don't suffer. Just leverage on AI. So what you can use AI to do, there are many AI platforms, and we know all of them. There's Claude, there's Gemini, there's ChatGPT, and I mean, what have you? Many of them. So AI should be used as a tool to speed up your brain, not replace it. There's there's something I do. I pour my idea into maybe an AI, and then I tell it what to do and what I want it to do. When it comes out, I'm like, I'm so proud. But guess what? The main idea came from me. I've worked with people that were employed in the company, in the organization, and you could tell that they just used AI. And it was a big problem for me because you are my social media manager. But when I look at your calendar, all I can see is the work of AI. There's no human touch, there's no personality, there's no connection because you use just AI. So I'm not telling you to replace your mind or your brain with AI. I'm saying that you can leverage AI as your content assistant. So you use it for ideas. You can ask AI, you are this prompt is great. You're a world-class strategist in this social niche. Give me 10 content ideas for this. Another thing is just know basics about prompt engineering. Want to prompt AI to give you the very best. You can use it to refine your caption. You can use it for hook optimization. I do it for my own personal brand, for visual generation as well. So always leverage AI to help you. So you have the main idea, you have the mind of what you want to achieve, but then AI can help you turn it into something better, something that is more acceptable for your audience or based on the algorithm or whatever people have been searching, right? So this is an example of a 7-day strategy canvas. So we have the days, we have our content pillars, we have the hook, we have the format. You can also do hashtags, do the caption. It depends on anything that you want to do. But you have your 7-day strategy canvas. So you can decide that on Monday, Monday is a day when everybody is highly motivated. So let's build authority. So what we're going to be posting is the number one mistake people make with so thing. So that means that it's going to be an educational video. On Tuesday, you are going to do something that is going to build engagement. And usually, maybe you can post on your status or your story, right? Engagement posts do well too on status or story. So you can post, oh, which one would you choose, A or B? So you are putting up a poll. Like, for example, on Instagram, you're putting up a poll, you're putting up an image. Which would you prefer, this or this? So these are just examples of things that you can do when you're planning your content. But I can tell you that one of the reasons why you have a desire for what you want the social media page you're managing or even your own personal social media page to look. So that's just the thing. So things to do before you publish a post, which are very important. Number one, the hook. Is your first line strong enough to stop the scroll? Number two is the bridge. Do I connect or did I connect the story or tip back to my business or the main essence of what I'm talking about? Because sometimes if you also just leave AI to do it for you, you will hook fish that you cannot catch. You will be doing hook, the bridge is not connecting. The bridge is totally broken, it's shut down, it's no more working. So the hook is there, but then there's the bridge, and then there's the call to action. So is the instruction clear? Do I want them to comment? Do I want them to send a DM? Do I want them to send me a message on WhatsApp? To click the link to go to my website, to call me? Then the visual. Is your text clear and light is good for mobile viewing? So the visual has to also be good, especially in a day where, I mean, many people appreciate aesthetics. So you have to do your best to make sure the aesthetics are really good, but it has to be compelling. You know, one of the things I enjoy doing online is watching small content creators, small in context. I enjoy watching small content creators, especially when they start to blow, because I see consistency, I see a lot of intentionality. And I'm saying that to say that the aesthetics are not the most important thing, especially at the beginning. If you offer value, people are going to stick to you. When Salem King started doing his content, it was not as touche as it is now, but he was consistent, he was giving value, he was relatable, he was doing some things right. So those things are very important when it comes to planning the calendar of your content, right? So um this is all that I have to say to you guys today, because it's very easy. I just wanted to break a lot of things down, but planning your content calendar is very simple. You just have to give, like I said, leverage AI. This is what you want to achieve. You see, one of the things I've learned with leveraging AI is tell AI your mind. You can turn on the mic and just talk for as long as possible. Explain everything in detail and then let AI do it. Or if you already even have an idea, script down your idea and then let AI do some finishing touches to it. And then the most important thing is not just planning your calendar, but sticking to the calendar. It's one thing for you to plan, oh, I'm going to um I'm going to I'm going to post 10 posts in this week, 7 days. So it means that on some days I'm going to do 2 posts and all of that. And then your calendar comes, is knocking on your door, and you say, another day. So one thing about having a content calendar is just to help you know what to do, because every one of us, I struggled with it too before I started taking advantage of my content calendar. What used to happen to me is I will have a lot of content. I don't know which one to post. But with my content calendar, I structure, this is what I'm going to post today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let me tell you, my content calendar has, sometimes by the time I'm done editing my video, I write down the clothes I'm wearing so that I don't think too much. I don't know about you, but it's just like going into a supermarket and trying to get um a drink out of 20 brands and you like 10. So you're just thinking, which one do I go for? So to break that cycle of indecisiveness and anxiety and just not knowing what to do, it's important that you have a calendar that just helps your flow. It helps your execution and it helps your effectiveness and productivity as a social media manager. So we've come to the end of our class. Like this last part says, a content calendar replaces guessing with governance. So instead of just guessing, you are in charge. So thank you everyone for listening to me and my short presentation. I hope that we understood everything that I said. Remember that a calendar is as powerful as the decision you make to execute. So it's not enough to have a calendar, it is to execute your plans. So I don't know if anybody has any question right now. If you have a question, I think this is the time where you can shoot. And once we answer your questions, I'll just ask for, okay, sorry. Don't end the class yet. Oh, your voice is beautiful and the class is interesting and educative. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I need to tell my husband to pay me bride price, extra one. Thank you so much. So, do we have questions? Do we have questions? I hope we enjoyed the class. Please, if you did, okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now so that if we have any questions, please let's go ahead to ask them and we'll answer them to the best of our
Okay.
ability.
Good evening.
Yes, please. Good evening.
Sorry, I
Good
want to
evening,
ask my
sir.
question quickly because I want to enter somewhere. So my question is about hooks.
Oh,
Yeah, what is the best placement and use of hooks in social media management? I see in the comment section or in the video or in the content you are trying to post yourself. And how does hooks work across different social media? Is it like the way it works on Instagram? That's the way it works on Twitter. That's the way it works, or there's a different pattern to each that is unique to each social media. I don't know if you understand what I mean by hooks, like those hooks
I
words.
totally understand you. Thank
Yes,
you so
thank
much
you.
for your question. I think everybody will benefit from this question that you asked. So, um, I'm going to answer as much as I remembered. So, number one, your hook placement, it depends on your content pillar. For example, if I'm trying to post a relatable content, I don't necessarily have to always say do this. So I can place my okay, now I'm talking about call to action. So for hook has to always be at the beginning of, that's the reason it's called a hook. It is to grab attention. So it always has to be at the very beginning of what you are posting. So, for example, I'll give you a simple example and then I'll move to the next part. The first viral post I had on Twitter, I think it had about almost 500,000 views. What happened was the oh my goodness, I deleted my ex because that place can be toxic and I just wanted to focus on something else. With Twitter, for example, your first tweet, if it is not, if it does not have like gossip, people will not open the thread. And like I said, everybody is kind of curious in nature. Everybody wants to know what is happening in somebody's life. So if you post a video or something and you do not put your hook at the very beginning, it means that you have nothing to get to retain your audience. So I would advise that it always has to be at the very beginning. Because if I just come and I start telling you something else, you are not interested, you're going to move on. So it has to always be at the very beginning. I think for all social media platforms, it always has to be, if it is call to action, then it can differ because different content pillars will determine what you're going to tell people to do. Sometimes the first thing you hear people say, if you're not a woman, move. The truth is that even men will now stay because they want to hear what they're telling women. That's a hook. If you know that you want to remain poor, swipe up. That's a hook. So it always because what you are doing is getting people to engage with your post, and sometimes engagement is them watching till the very end. I hope that I answered your question. Please give a thumbs up if I did. Okay, thank you so much. Alabi Emmanuel, I think you want to say something. Please, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Thank you.
Oh, good evening. Um, good evening. Thanks for the lecture. It was a good one, though I didn't start from the
Thank you.
top. I was not here when you started because of network and all, but I was able to grab
Oh, so
something in
sorry.
terms of content calendar and all of that. So my question will be based on
Yeah.
content calendar. So if you're planning a content calendar, let's say for example, let's do with the normal social norms, which is Monday, man crush Monday, Tuesday, maybe focus on health and relationship. Wednesday, woman crush. Thursday, throwback. Friday, TGIF. Okay, let's look at
Mm,
those. That's Monday to Friday. But there are some times or some days of the week or sometimes in the month where you could have something like, okay, for example, International Women's Day, you could have
Right.
Sunday, and all of that. So how do you plan your content calendar? If you have a consistent calendar already, like you have a content calendar for the month already, that does not involve all of these things, how do you now tweak or switch away from those, from that particular content calendar you already have to fit in, and it doesn't disrupt your already existing content calendar and will also suit your audience?
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I was hoping somebody was going to answer that because it's actually my ask that question because it's actually my note. And okay, I don't know from what part you joined, but at the beginning of the class, I said something about having a monthly goal. You break it down into weeks and then into days. So, for example, globally, the month of March is Women's Month. So when you are planning your content calendar, it is important for you to find out what are national holidays that will be celebrated and you know people would actually know about. I would have to plan around that. So for example, I can be a fitness brand, but when it is Women's Day, I can structure something that you know acknowledges and appreciates and celebrates women who are in the fitness brand, for example, or women generally. As simple as a Happy Women's Day flyer. So the thing with having a content calendar is you're going to be the one to structure it. You give the calendar power. So another thing too is just flexibility. So you are the one who created the calendar. You can be flexible to move it. I mean, it happens at the office for us too. So where things come up and maybe it skipped our mind or we didn't project it or something like that, we now say, okay, you know what, this thing is coming. We have to reroute this thing. So maybe the content that was scheduled for that day, we're going to put a pause to it and then post this other one because it's a national or a global celebrated thing. Or what we can even do is decide to post two things in one day. Yes, that's something that you can do. So at the end of the day, it's flexibility. It is a calendar you created so you can make do with it if you want to be as accommodating to have national or global celebrations in your calendar. And I would advise that it is very, very important for you to do so. As a social media manager, it is important that you take advantage of seasons like that. So, for example, International Women's Day, people are going to be online because husbands are going to be posting their wives are going to be posting themselves. Women's Day, mommies are going to be posting their pictures with their children. Husbands will post their wives and their children. So those days have peak audience on social media. So you use it to your advantage. Like I said, sometimes not because you want to even sell anything, but you want to create awareness in the minds of your audience. You want people to just see your brand, the name. Awareness is very important. So I would say that take consideration of days and celebrations, very important. And then the calendar was planned by you, means that it will adapt to any direction that you take. Whatever you want to do, the calendar will follow your lead. So as flexible as you can be as flexible and curate it for your own brand. I believe that many holidays, I mean, give allowance for many brands. So yeah, you can do that. Okay, thank you so much. I see Judith. I think you want to ask a question. Please go ahead. You can unmute your mic and do so. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so
Thank
my
you.
question is, so you mentioned quality content over quantity, yeah? So,
Yeah,
yeah, I actually wanted to ask, yeah, I equally heard of algorithm too. I had
yeah,
algorithm work consistency, yeah. So for like a
yeah,
small, like you're just growing and you don't really have much of followers and you're just trying to grow. Obviously, you'll be having two likes or not like little engagement. So is it that we should like I should wait till I'm able to come up with a perfect, like captivating content that like a lot of people will engage, I should just keep posting consistency. I heard that if you keep
mm,
posting consistency, algorithm, so I just wanted to know if probably I should wait if I'm able to figure out a very, captivating content, something that is really very, very, yeah.
Yeah. All
So
right.
that's
Thank
my
you so much. Okay. Thank you so much. I think some days ago I saw something that Funke Akindele did, where she had about maybe 500 women in the room and they were talking about creativity and all of that. And we know this popular lady, Kiki, the she does skits or so. She said something. She said, as content creators, they never know viral moments. Like, it's not that they sit there and say, this content will be viral. That sometimes they even plan that the content will be viral, then that video will do very badly. So I would say that the algorithm has not been 100% mastered. It is still a high game of luck and chance. However, there are many things that you do that can increase your chances. And so it is important for you. I would advise that when you start, consistency is very important. However, even as you are being consistent, you can give rich value. One thing I learned over time is that content is more about the content of the content than doing the content itself. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So it's about what you are actually saying, what you are passing, um, what people are getting, what feeling do they have when they come across your content. So there's the part where consistency plays, but there's the part where quality is very important. If I know somebody that posts once a week, I look forward to her posts. She has about 1 million plus followers on TikTok. She doesn't post as often. She posts every week. There's a YouTuber I watch. She's not so consistent, but it is quality. I wait for those videos. So I would say that when you're starting, it is important for you to have a healthy mix of quality and consistency, so that as often as you are posting, let it count that your audience is actually staying and engaging, because what you are doing consistently is also giving them value. So when I say quality, I'm not saying that it has to be perfect, but let it be something that for you, you even value it as something that is important. And I just want to also say that when it comes to managing social media pages, also have opinions from other people. Sometimes what would deliver you is just having an honest opinion from a friend or a family member. What do you think I should do differently? What do you think I should improve on? Sometimes those advices, or even from somebody in the field, can help. Okay, can you take a look at my page? What can I do differently? And then you can have that kind of conversation. For example, at Ivory Learn, we have a product called Skill to Income. In that product, it costs very little money. I don't think it's up to 10,000 if I'm not mistaken. In that product, we have a clarity session with you where we actually look at you, have a discussion with you, and know what to do with you. So you can even have consultations with people in the brand, or in the, sorry, I said brand, in the sphere or the niche, so that they can look and see, okay, what should you improve? What should you not improve? So quality should be mixed with consistency, because the mix of both of them will do a fantastic job for your social media page. But I hope that I answered that not vaguely, but as practically as possible. All right. Thank you so much. So do we have any more questions? Do we have any more questions? All right. So I think that we don't have questions again for this night. So I believe that we've had a very wonderful class today. And I want us to end with something. So we have our very senior boss here on the call. If you can see anybody with Marvelous Solomon, that's our boss. So I'm going to just hand over the mic to him, and he's going to say a few things that will be beneficial to every one of us here. But thank you so much for being in this class and for investing in your future. And I really hope that very soon we'll see you at the very top. Thank you, everybody. So I'll pass the mic to my boss, Mr. Marv. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.